わ。でも気が変わったらいつでも言いなさいよ。トールは私のデュオです。怖い怖い。ああ、そうそう、一つ大事なことを言っておくわ。二度は言わないからよく聞くのよ。あんたのこと未来の旦那様にするって決めたから。
In the last episode, we covered episodes 1 to 6 of Absolute Duo, so if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. Having fought his right to enroll in the academy, Tor finds himself not only getting stronger, but meeting new people as well. Not only has Tor gotten Julie to fall in love with him, but he has convinced just about every attractive girl in his class. Although Tor is living his life up to the fullest when one of his girls tells him a secret, stuff starts getting out of control. Opening the episode, we get some fan service of Hotaka, remembering when she was held hostage. She realizes how useless she was during their training until her thoughts are interrupted by Tachibana. Tachibana tells her that putting herself down will only make her situation worse. After this, Tachibana tells her to find something she loves, to which Hotaka instantly thinks of Tor. Tor, on the other hand, is hanging out with Julie on a boat, taking it easy. He looks up to try and spy on girls standing near the edge, but Julie starts talking to him, breaking his glance. The two continue to relax on the ship, putting Tor at ease. Hotaka eventually approaches, hoping to get closer to Tor. Tor asks her why she is standing so far away and urges her to come closer. Hotaka tries to sit down, but in the process the boat rocks, pushing her chest against Tor. Tachibana comes looking for Hotaka, telling her the teacher has an announcement. Rito tells the class that for the rest of their training they will swim to the nearest island. Sitting atop it all is the principal, watching them like they are her test subjects. Rito then tells the class that if you didn't level up during their initial tests, not to hold their classmate behind. After this announcement, she presses a button, rotating the ground and pushing everyone off the boat. While Tor and Julie are swimming to the island, Lilith approaches, ready to jump in and swim atop her helicopter. After jumping in, she clings to Tor, making him have to carry two different women now. Lilith tells Julie that she shouldn't get in Tor's way and swim on her own. Tor then tells her to race, hoping to show she isn't a liability. Tor swims all the way with Julie on his back, losing to Lilith. Lilith stands over them, watching as Julie and Tor flirt. Before we continue, let's take a moment to answer the question of the day. If you were in Tor's shoes, which girl would you pick? Comment down below for a chance to be shouted out in the next video. Now back to the recap. With Julie gone, Lilith sits atop of Tor and tells him to help her out. Tor asks what she needs and Lilith tries to kiss him, but they are interrupted by Julie screaming. After going to see her, they see Julie pointing at her underwear in the ocean, revealing she lost them. Hotaka, on the other hand, struggles to keep up with Tachibana, falling into the water. Hotaka then looks into the water and apologizes to Tachibana for being so useless. Tachibana assures her that she is her duo, and the two of them are bound together. Later that night, Tor walks through the forest with Lilith, and upon noticing her bare feet, he wraps them. Julie then tries to get his attention, getting her dress stuck on a nearby stick. Suddenly, interrupting their peace, a group of people summon blazes, preparing to attack. While they are just now being attacked, Tachibana and Hotaka have been fighting with others, finding themselves trapped by their perpetrators. Tachibana eventually breaks free and fends the opponents off by herself. Hotaka stays watching from the sideline, wishing she wasn't so useless. She eventually strengthens her resolve and summons her blaze, hoping to save Tachibana. Tor, on the other hand, is busy himself, fending off attacks from multiple people at once. As the fight goes on, Lilith is attacked from behind, but it is blocked by Julie. Julie proposes that the two of them team up for a moment, hoping to defeat the enemies. Julie then decides to destroy the trees, taking away and hiding spots the enemies could have. Tor, on the other hand, is still struggling against his enemies, taking a trap head-on. He sees a girl rush towards him and knocks her down. Before finishing her off, he sees who it is and recognizes it as the girl from his entrance ceremony. She greets after not seeing him for months, but stops to tell him to move his hand. They then follow the taken down students and are introduced to the new academy. It is explained that this school is the branch school for the ones who didn't win in the entrance ceremony. Nagakura, the student who lost to Tor, explains that when she left the academy they were stopped and admitted to this branch. She tells him that their life on the island has been pretty good and asks how Tor is faring. Julie approaches, asking for some food, so Tor gives her some, ignoring Nagakura's previous question. Tor is then approached by another babe, offering him more food. Julie then feeds Lilith a couple of times, showing they have become on must-friendlier terms. Tor sees the principal and decides to go thank her for not getting rid of the other students. The principal tells Tor that the only reason she is helping these students is in case they have a hidden potential. She alerts Tor that the only thing that interests her is the path to the absolute duo. Later that evening, Hotaka and Tor both try to grab a utensil at the same time, causing them to hold hands. Tor tells her he heard she defeated a bunch of the students. Hotaka thinks about it, but tells herself that she still isn't worthy of Tor yet. The group calls them back, and while running, Hotaka realizes what she has is love for Tor. The next morning, Tor wakes up to Lilith and Julie both comforting him, while naked, of course. Tor wakes up in a panic, asking why the both of them are lying in his bed. Tor looks at both of the bodies until he is interrupted by Tachibana telling him it's time to train. She runs off, but later that day comes back to apologize later for misunderstanding. Hotaka then approaches and tells the class to get into formation so their teacher doesn't get mad. Tor goes over to Hotaka and thanks her for helping him get out of that situation. While they continue their training, Tor continues to peek on the girls in various forms. Hotaka, on the other hand, realizes that once she is in love, the world looks much better. They conclude their training for the day, and Rito announces tomorrow will be the last day on the island. Following this, Tor is approached by various women asking him to hang out, one of those being Hotaka. She thanks him for helping him and asks if he wants to come with her and Tachibana to somewhere the next day. Tor asks where they are going to go, thinking there is nowhere fun on the island. Hotaka explains that they are standing on a beach, so that's where they will go. Tor goes to sleep, excited for his beach day tomorrow, and wakes up ready. After getting to the beach, he is greeted by all of these hottest girls in his class. They all ask for Tor's opinion, and he goes on to compliment each of them in their own way. Eventually, it's Hotaka's turn, but she is too shy to take off her jacket and reveal her swimsuit. Lilith forces it off, and Hotaka's personality bursts out, surprising Tor. The girls then decide to run into the ocean, and Tor tries to follow, but he is kicked in the head by Rito. She tells him he never rated her swimsuit, so she asks him to rate it. Tor escapes somehow and plays with the others, doing various beach activities. Whether it's getting Tachibana's bra on a stick somehow or rubbing Lilith's back, he is having a full day. Later on, Hotaka goes and tries to flirt with Tor, but he runs off, seeing Julie in the water herself. He ignores Hotaka and runs in to save her, but to his surprise, her top is off. Julie grabs Tor's back and tells him to go retrieve his swimsuit, but is stopped along the way. Lilith grabs onto him, telling him to save her from drowning. While this is going on, Nagakura notices Hotaka watching them with jealousy. After the beach, they head to the bath where Tor is able to overhear the girls' actions. He sits by his side, listening to the girls moan, and reveals different breast sizes. We get a glimpse of what is happening and we see Rito touching Hotaka. Tachibana comes in and stops her, but Rito just moves her victim over to her. Julie sees this and goes over, hoping to get in on the fun. During this, Nagakura asks Hotaka if she likes Tor or not, telling her it's obvious to her. Hotaka shares that she doesn't stand a chance at Tor, him already having Julie. Nagakura reveals that once they first met, she clicked with Tor, and if she went to the main school, they might be dating. Hotaka listens and realizes she still has a chance at winning over Tor. Later that day, they walk through some mountains where Hotaka slips, causing Tor to offer to carry her. Nagakura assists Hotaka in her plan, telling the group they need to head home because it's getting dark. The other girls notice what's going on, but allow Hotaka to get a chance this time. While walking back, Tor reminds Hotaka of the last time he had to carry her back. Hotaka reveals that his words of encouragement during that moment helped her a lot. Hotaka asks Tor to call her by her first name, him being on a first-name basis with the other girls. They share a moment, looking at the sun setting. Hotaka tells Tor that she should be fine to walk now, and asks to be put down. The two of them walk along the beach, and Hotaka tries to build up the courage to confess. She tells Tor that he has helped her a bunch, and she wouldn't be as far as she is without him. Hotaka eventually lets it out, telling Tor that she is in love with him. Hotaka asks Tor to go out with him, but Tor denies her, remembering the last time someone he loved died before him. Tor tells Hotaba that he is too weak to protect her, so he can't go out with her. Later that night, chaos erupts with the whole school burning and half the students dying. Julie and the others, however, stand on the front line, taking down the soldiers one by one. While giving out orders, Tachibana notices one of the soldiers getting back up, showing they are much stronger than before. The principal and Rito sit inside the school leisurely, not caring about the students. While talking, the principal reveals that the enemy has tons of reinforcements, launching an attack on the main school at the same time. Finally, the principal offers Rito a drug, asking her to show her real strength. While walking down the hallway, Rito injects herself, unleashing a seal. Nagakura, on the other hand, is showing her strength, dealing with the soldier easily. Breaking up the tension is Tor, who arrives smashing the face of one of the soldiers. Amidst their fight, Rito announces to them all that for hurting her students they will pay. Rito swings a long sword throughout the soldiers' lines, bringing them to a panic. Tor and the others witness Rito's new strength and realize she is much stronger than before. As they are saying this, Rito sends in another attack, killing more soldiers. Rito reveals that once you reach level 4, you can unleash the hidden potential behind your blaze. After explaining this, she turns her sword into a boomerang, shredding through their lines. After the battle, Tor approaches her, asking how she got so much stronger. Rito tells him it's a grown-up thing, and leaves to defeat more enemies. Suddenly, Tachibana arrives, telling Tor and Julie that Hotaka is missing. We transition over to the principal and Lilith sitting in an office, talking to the perpetrators. The leader of the soldiers approaches, telling the principal that she is their goal. He tells Lilith that today she is not needed, and he orders his soldiers to shoot her. Lilith blocks this attack with ease, but is stunned to see the leader use a blaze of his own. He fires at them, causing an explosion that is viewed by Tor and the others. They witness this, and decide to split into groups to go help them and look for Hotaka. Tor goes to the principal's office, but is too late, seeing Lilith on the ground. Lilith reveals to them that the perpetrators took the principal, her being their goal all along. While she is being transported in a ship, she notices Tor and Julie arriving to save her. They talk with the leader of the thugs, and ask what their goal behind this all is. Instead of answering, the leader tells them if they jump into the ocean, he will reconsider killing them. Tor objects and engages in battle with the leader, showing no mercy. He runs in and tries to punch him, but the leader stops him, bare-handed. Julie then tries to get in on the action and land a hit, but they are both unable to damage the man. Tor eventually finds an opening and uses his secret technique, which blows the leader far back into the ship. Tor thinks the fight is over, but to his surprise the man emerges unharmed, revealing he has new armor, capable of withstanding his attacks. The leader stops talking and rushes in, but is stopped by an onslaught of punches by Tor. Julie switches out with him, but she is manhandled with ease. Unsure of how to defeat him, Tor decides to just run in and try their same method. Before Tor is able to rush in, the leader dashes towards him, stabbing his leg. Julie tries to stop him, but she ends up falling down herself. The leader tries to finish her off, but Tor tells the man he will protect Julie because she is his partner. This brings back a bad memory for him, enraging him to torture Tor. While laying on the ground, Julie remembers when her father was killed, and this spikes her powers. She proclaims to the leader that she promised to protect her loved ones after her father died, unlocking a new power. After being engulfed in a new power, Julie outspeeds the leader, slicing his body up. Tor realizes that she isn't herself, and he tells her to stop, but she runs to him with aggression. Tor is able to calm her down, but she faints in the process, leaving the fight in the hands of Tor. Tor tells the leader he won't back down, to which he tells Tor what can a weakling like him do. Suddenly interrupting their fight, the leader receives a call from his boss, telling him to pull out. The leader tells Tor next time they meet he won't be so lucky, and he runs off. After getting back to the school safely, the principal talks with Lilith about their true objective. The principal tells her that she wasn't their goal, and suddenly Lilith receives a call. After this battle, Tor and Julie head on the boat back and remember their comrades. Tor remembers Hotaka confessing to her, and he feels bad, her still not being found. Despite trying to plead with the teachers to stay and look for Hotaka, they were forced to leave the island. Upon arriving back at the academy, Tor and Tachibana spar, hoping to ease their regret of not looking for Hotaka. Tor loses to Tachibana while thinking about Hotaka, thinking something is wrong. As Tachibana tightens her grip, Tor gets lewd thoughts which pushes Tachibana off. Tachibana decides to restart their battle, hoping Tor will put up a fight this time. After training, Tachibana takes a shower and asks Hotaka for a towel, always being there for her. She remembers all the moments she had with Hotaka and wishes she comes back safely. She ends up breaking down into tears, attracting the attention of Lilith. While in the class, Tor overhears other students wondering when Hotaka will get out of the hospital, revealing the school covered up her disappearance. Lilith approaches Tor and hugs him, hoping to cheer him up a bit. Julie then joins in on the fun and teases Tor as well. To add to the fan service, Tachibana arrives at class as well, showing what she has to show. Tor then remembers when he denied Hotaka, seeing her cut from behind. She tells him he is weak, and the leader who had fought him tells Tor the same thing. Tor then sees his sister in her hand taking her last breath as another man tries to slice him. Then Tor wakes up to realize it's a dream, waking Julie up in the process. She goes onto his bunk and embraces him, hoping to cool him down. The next day, Tor is summoned to the principal's office where he receives a reward for saving her. She presents to him a level 4 drug that will enhance his powers to the max. Tor questions giving him such an important item, to which the principal explains that he is an irregular, so he is different. She asks Tor if he really is that weak, trying to convince him to take the drug. Tor remembers his fight with the leader where Julie went out of control, so he reconsiders taking it. He tells his principal he can't take it, so she offers to let him hold on to it instead. She tells him that he has the power to change the world if he pleases. The principal then explains that an event will be coming up with the creator of the weapons used in his last fight being present. Tor takes this information and reconsiders taking the drug when the time is right. The day for this event comes and the school is on lockdown. People observe the various guards placed around the academy, mentioning every one of them is at least level 3. The guards overhear this and tell Tachibana and Tora that there is no way someone will try and fight against all their guards. We then cut to Lilith, where she remembers the principal mentioning this upcoming event to her, making it seem important. Tor then interrupts her though, telling her he has a question for her. Tor asks about the weaponsmith, the leader's armsman. Lilith tries to deny her knowledge around him but folds when she sees Tor's passion. She explains that he is a leader of a shady arms company with the goal of reaching the absolute duo. Lilith tells Tor that all of the top leaders of Rain, the group trying to create the absolute duo. The principal arrives and is greeted by the members, one of which presents a flower to her. After a bit of chit-chat, the weaponsmith arrives, but contrary to how scary he sounds, he appears to be a kind old man. Tor asks Lilith about the absolute duo, and she explains that using the soul's power you can create your blaze. When two blazes are compatible and reach a high enough level, their souls connect and become the absolute duo. During the meeting between the members, the weaponsmith offers to help the others, in exchange for their help in creating the best weapons. He specifically asks the principal, to which she refuses, telling her that she wishes to find the absolute duo herself rather than use science. The principal concludes with telling the weaponsmith she can't team up with someone who lost in a battle to her grandfather. She continues by telling him there is no way she would team up with someone as worthless as he is. The weaponsmith proposes a game to decide how they will move forward. He tells her that he will have his soldiers attack the campus and fight her students to see who is really stronger. The principal accepts, believing in Tor's power. Tor, on the other hand, is still thinking about achieving the absolute duo, wondering what kind of power it will hold. Lilith tells him that in exchange for the absolute duo's power, he will have to exchange something in return. Tor tells her that he only wants to protect those close to him. Suddenly, their conversation is interrupted by an incoming arsenal of soldiers, led by the leader. After looking around, Tor stumbles upon Hotaka, transformed as the ultimate rebel soldier. The guards surround her, ready to take her down but are slammed back. Hotaka shows her newfound power, wielding her spear like never before. Tor sees the leader approaching from behind and he asks what he did to her. The leader explains it's a heavenly technology that can't be stopped. Suddenly Hotaka rushes towards Julie, attempting to strike her, but she is saved by Tor. The two get up, and Hotaka asks Julie if she's interfering in her love life as well now. After seeing the first exchange, the students realize that she is far past level 2 now. The leader tells them she is equipped with the latest technology, boosting her power up tenfold. Tor questions how it is possible to connect the soul power to their technological power. The leader then approaches Hotaka and touches her closely, ticking Tor off. Tachibana then tries her luck, approaching Hotaka and pleading for her to go back to normal. Instead of listening to her, Hotaka smacks Tachibana across the face, revealing she has no intention of backing down. The leaders of Rain watch as the weaponsmith explains to them that once they found Hotaka, he realizes she is the perfect soldier. The weaponsmith asks the principal what her plan is for dealing with this, so the principal explains. She explains there is no plan, they will simply overpower her. Going back to Hotaka, she appears conscious, but her questions say otherwise. The leader then tells Tor that Hotaka is one of them now, and she doesn't like them anymore. This angers Tor, so he runs in to attack, but Hotaka gets in his way, pushing him back when he tries to get close. After being pushed back by Hotaka, the others come to support Tor, blocking her strike. Hotaka hears what they have to save, but pushes them back after trying a little harder. Tor loses sight of her and realizes she is right behind him. Hotaka explains that she became stronger for him so that they can be together, and he Odient need to be strong. While watching, Tachibana thinks to herself that Hotaka isn't the same person she knew at all. Tor asks what their motive is, and the leader explains it's a game. He tells them the whole academy is under attack and it's all a game. He then takes his leave, hoping to help the others, and leave Hotaka to them. Tor tries to follow, but Hotaka stops her in his tracks, causing Tachibana to attack her. She ties her up with her chains, giving Julie and Tor a chance to talk about their plan. While talking, Tachibana tells them to leave Hotaka to her. They decide other places need their help more, so they look around for soldiers. After arriving at the front gate, they see a group of soldiers, so Tora and Lilith engage them in battle, giving Tor and Julie a chance to get ahead. While fighting together, Lilith and Tora realize they are a good combo, so they try a combo attack. Tor, on the other hand, barges into the headmaster's office but is greeted by the leader. He tells Tor that he wants to see him suffer and pay for all the times he has got away from him. Hotaka, on the contrary, is bored of fighting Tachibana, her not being able to deal any damage. Hotaka tells her that she should join her and get powerful like her. Tachibana tries to tell her to work for her own power and come back to being her duo. Hotaka tells her that she doesn't care about the duo, she just wants to be with Tor. While flying away, Tachibana realizes that she doesn't understand Hotaka's feelings at all. During this, Tor and Julie tell the leader that they believe in Tachibana and that she will bring Hotaka back. We go back to Tachibana, where she tells Hotaka she has no chance with Tor. Hotaka tells her that she was turned down because she was weak, so that's why she got strong. Tachibana tells her that she doesn't need that strength, her already being strong enough. She pleads with her, telling that out of anyone she knows, she is the strongest. Tachibana tells her that she can't stand to see her abusing a borrowed power. Hotaka tells her that without this power, she stands no chance at being with Tor. Hotaka asks her what to do without her power. Tachibana urges her to team back up with her and become the absolute duo together. Hotaka's fake heart begins to break as she fights her fake feelings. Tachibana gets closer and closer, eventually slapping the evil out of her. She asks Hotaka if she is okay now, and Hotaka apologizes. Tachibana explains that they are a duo, and she would do anything for her. While Tachibana is having some success, Tor and Julie struggle to overpower the leader. They get thrown around and pushed back until the leader tells them it's time to stop playing around. He summons all of his minions to lay fire on them, causing Tor to get shot multiple times. The leader applauds Tor's efforts at saving Julie, telling him that he is brave. With guns ready, the soldiers prepare to eliminate them for good, until Tor remembers what the principal gave him. He decides he will use the highest level of his power to overpower them. After injecting the level 4 into his system, Tor achieves the power to protect those close to him. After blocking all of the incoming attacks, the others arrive, ready to assist Tor in battle. The leader, however, doesn't back down and continues to fight, thinking he has a chance. Tor uses his new power to not only block his attack, but also punch him into the ground. Having turned Hotaka back to normal and defeating the leader, the principal is declared the victor in their game. She asks the weaponsmith if her students really are worthless, asking what that makes him. As she walks away, she wonders how high Tor will reach, and if he will exceed her expectations. The weaponsmith, on the other hand, is not happy about the leader losing, beating him with a stick. He tells the leader he is done playing around, ordering the leader to kill everyone in the school. The leader gets fed up with his gimmicks, however, and decides to stab him, ending his suffering. The leader then takes the ultimate armor from the weaponsmith and achieves the most powerful form, ready to take down Tor. After winning the game, Tor and the others walk home, relaxed. Suddenly the leader approaches, asking Tor what he is so calm for. Tor gets tired of this guy popping up everywhere, so he rushes him, hoping to take him down for good. The leader, however, overpowers him easily, then Lilith right after. Tor and Julie watch as the leader becomes surrounded by new armor and wings. He shows his power by shooting into a nearby field and destroying it. They then engage in battle with Tor being forced on the defensive. Despite leveling up to level 4, he is pushed back and forced to the ground. The leader asks Tor if he thought he could protect Julie and fight him at the same time. He looks down on Julie, calling her weak and dealing with the both of them at the same time. He knocks the both of them down and shoots in their direction, hoping to finish the battle. Tor, on the other hand, blocks the attack with his newfound power, showing he isn't out of tricks. The leader decides to fly up to a vantage point and shoot down on the school, wreaking havoc. He continues to destroy everything, forcing Tor to try and stop him. Tor attempts to get close, but he is forced to shield up and continue to watch as the leader destroys the school. The leader fires a shot towards the dorm, intending to kill all the students. However, it is stopped by Rito. She struggles, but is eventually able to prevent the attack from causing any damage. Despite blocking the attack, Rito's body is filled with sounds, showing she suffered damage from the attack. She decides to join in on the fight and help Tor in taking down the leader. The leader switches his focus over to Julie, getting a slice into her shoulder. She counterattacks, however, slicing up some of his armor technology. Julie then falls down and is shot by the leader, causing Tor to use his power to save her. During this gap, the leader dashes over to Tor and cuts through his body. The leader tells him sure he saved Julie, but he sacrificed himself in the process. Julie walks over to Tor in a frantic, unable to deal with him dying. The leader tells Julie to get up and fight, Tor being dead. This enrages Julie and she enters her dark form from before, giving her the ultimate power. She pushes the leader back and continues to strike him with her newfound power. After rushing him in the sky, Julie pushes the leader to his limits. She eventually lands a blow on him, causing an explosion. Finally, Tor wakes back up, wishing Julie didn't have to use the dark power. Julie, on the other hand, continues to use this power, bringing the leader on his knees. Seeing this, Tor pleads for Julie to calm down and not use such an ominous power. Tor then realizes what she is doing and summons a shield, blocking her incoming attack. He wishes he was powerful enough to protect her and not force her to use such power. He asks himself what he has been doing all this time, not even being able to protect Julie. As she continues to try and break through his shield, Tor realizes what he needs to do. He realizes his power is made for him to protect others, so he gets rid of the shield and takes a hit from Julie, giving him a chance to get in close. He assures her everything is okay and asks her to come back to normal. After hearing his callings, Julie realizes what she's doing and comes back to her senses. The leader, on the other hand, gets enraged after seeing the two stop fighting. He prepares his final attack, hoping to end the battle for good this time. As he charges up his attack, Tor and Julie use their own move, initiating the perfect defense. With the most powerful attack and strongest defense clashing, it's hard to tell which will prevail. With the advantage of two, Julie and Tor begin to overpower the leader, causing a huge magical spike. He stumbles back after witnessing their power, realizing he can't win. The leader prepares his next attack while Tor charges towards him with Julie's sword. Wielding two blazes, Tor overpowers the leader for good this time, ending a long-fought battle. After these events, Hotaka goes to visit Tor while in the hospital, hoping to become friends again. Tor tells her that they can continue to grow stronger and work harder toward their goal. Tor tells not only Hotaka but all his visitors he is thankful for their help and wishes to continue being friends. After a few days, Tor is discharged and he pays a visit to Lilith in her garden. Lilith presents a document containing information on the leader's past. She tells Tor that the leader was kidnapped as a child and constantly put into fights. Tor asks why she is giving him this, and Lilith tells him she just wants him to know. She then changes the conversation by telling Tor that Julie will be discharged today as well. Tor tells Lilith goodbye and heads over to the hospital to hopefully find Julie. While running through the school grounds looking for Julie, he sees the clock tower where he first asked her to be his duo. He gets to the top and Julie tells him that she isn't an exceed. She tells Tor that when she was a child, her father died and she wished for power. After that, she became an Elawake, people who have a hidden power within their souls. Tor compares it to him, being an irregular, but Julie explains that it is an artificially planted power. Julie tells Tor that she has felt bad about being his duo, her not being an irregular herself. Julie continues to tell Tor that despite her having a dark power and not being the strongest, she wants to continue being his duo. Tor tells her that the second he saw her first use her dark power, he wished she would never let her use it again. Tor informs her that he will become stronger so she doesn't need to ever use that power again. He then asks her again like he first did to continue being duos with her. The two agree and decide to chant their duo pledge one last time.